All right, we are live. Welcome to the Joe Kilgallon podcast, everybody. I'm the aforementioned Joe Kilgallon, comedian based out of Chicago, Illinois. We got a good one in store for you today, broadcasting live on both Facebook and YouTube. Big shout out to all the podcast subscribers, all my YouTube subscribers, all the TikTokers. Is that what we're calling you guys, TikTokers? Either way, I'm very excited for this one. We got, as you can see, him already. See, it's probably bad of me. You know what, Jonah? I probably should have revealed you. Let's try this again.
Okay.
Let's see. I'm going to go just me. All right, here we go. This dude is a producer of the hottest show in the city of Chicago, a hysterical comedian in his own right, actually a producer of two of the hottest shows, one of which was going to be pitched as a pilot called The Blackout Diaries. The other show is called Comedians You Should Know. Everyone, please welcome the one and only Jonah Jurkens.
Hey, there I am.
There you are, buddy. How are you, Jonah?
I'm fantastic. I'm so excited I'm talking to you right now.
Dude, we had ourselves a time. Let's talk about that. Last Wednesday, everybody. Now, I for the people listening across America, we all have to admit the United States is doing a piss poor job with this whole coronavirus, COVID-19, whatever you want to call it. But our city of Chicago and our state of Illinois, pretty damn good. We're doing good. We're like the only state where it's declining. So that's nice. And Jonah and myself got together with some of the guys. All the dudes. We had Blake Burkhart's been on the podcast, Bobby Buds, Joe Fernandez, frequenter of the podcast, you, of course, and then we had Danny Callis, a man who he won't do it. Everyone,
Why not? He's like your best friend.
I know, he is. He is like my best friend. He stood up at my wedding. He was an usher, and we're very close. We were one of the few comedians who could get together and talk about stuff not related to comedy. You know how comedians can be. He's just like a dude who's just like, I don't do interviews. He's one of those mysterious human beings. And the longtime listeners of this podcast know I've been trying to get him on it because I think people would love him. He'd be a hit. He's got that voice.
Yeah. He's got good insight. Very funny. Man.
Yeah, he knows a little bit about everything, and he's fun. Like, he doesn't take shit too seriously.
Yeah.
So we all got together in my garage. And right before the podcast started, Jonah, you said you had such a great time, and that makes me feel really good that you had a good time.
Yeah. And so, dude, it's like this pandemic shutdown sucks. So, like, it really makes you appreciate the relationships of friends that you have. And then when you get to see them, it's like so exciting. Like, I haven't seen you or Danny since that happened. So I was like so excited to see you guys. It was fun. I had a good time. It
was great. It was a nice little impromptu thing. I wasn't really, I had some friends be like, hey, where's my invite? I'm like, it was like we didn't really like plan this weeks in advance. And you can't have 20 people in a garage. No. 6 of us was perfectly comfortable. We were distanced enough. We were playing Mario Kart on 64. I busted out the old 64. Something about playing an old school video game system felt appropriate.
Oh, you have to.
I mean, a PS4, a new Xbox, whatever, those are great and all. But it felt like, hey, we're in a garage. We were drinking Miller Lite and MGD. You had some hard stuff, though. What were you rocking?
What was I rocking? I was drinking. I think I was just drinking some Trulies, I believe.
Man, dude, you and the damn sparkling alcohol or whatever the hell we call those things, you were on that train way before everyone else. You were on the Truly bandwagon before White Claw was a thing.
Holy shit. I was at a Target. You were just at Target. I was at a Target years ago, and I was walking down the aisle, and they had a 12-pack on sale for $10. And I was like, what is this sparkling? Like, I was like, hard seltzer? And I bought it. And another comedian, Dan Dries, and I drank it that night, and I was like, this is not good. It feels like I'm just drinking water. And then it's blown up ever since, and I'm so excited that I was on that tip before anybody.
Oh, look, our buddy Chris Bader, hilarious comedian.
It's addicting, yeah.
He says it's addicting.
Yeah.
He's a good dude, that Chris Bader. Man.
Joe,
go ahead. Sorry.
I was dating a nurse at the time. And then I gave her one of the Trulies, and I was just like, hey, do you like this seltzer? And she drank it, and she was like, yeah, it's pretty good. I might bring that to work. I'm like, there's alcohol in that. And she was like, are you fucking serious? I was like, yeah, there's alcohol. There's like more than a beer. And she's like, that's not good. I'm like, I think I'm going to die in a year for sure from this.
It's still amazing to me how Mike's Hard Lemonade always got shit on. Like, it got ripped on hard.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you this. This is a funny story. With everything that's been going on with cancel culture and comedians and so-and-so said this 12 years ago and blah, 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 blah. I was talking with a friend, and I think I was talking with you guys actually when you guys were all in the garage, because we were asking about like, hey, do you have anything online that you're like, oh shit, I better delete that. I did. I had one joke, and it was last year, right before I was going to get my YouTube channel going. I put my last album on YouTube and everything like that. I was like, all right, let me comb through some stuff here. I had a joke about Mike's Hard Lemonade, about how if you were at a barbecue and you're drinking a regular lemonade, no one says shit. That's totally cool.
Right.
You're drinking a lemonade that's 5% alcohol by volume, and all of a sudden it means you want to suck dick.
Yeah.
Except I used the FAG word. I did. Everyone will own it.
Oh,
and I was like, well, I better delete. I deleted that off YouTube real quick, but it's still
Yeah.
a good joke. It kills in the clip. But
Yeah.
it was amazing to me how like Mike's Hard Lemonade, everyone's like, what are you fucking? Huh? You like to suck balls? You like to lick pubes? What are you doing, you little bitch, huh? But now White Claw, everyone's like, hey, no laws with the claw, bro. White Claw's cool. I don't know. I just feel like Mike's Hard Lemonade, everyone owes apologies to Mike's Hard Lemonade
I agree.
drinkers.
Yeah, I agree with that, and like Smirnoff Ice and all those like quote unquote like girly drinks. It's like, yeah, it's crazy how this slid in, and then every macho guy is like, yeah, I love Truly, or I love White Claw. It's crazy.
It's timing too. It's got to be timing, because everyone's fitness is a thing now. People are more into being fit.
Yeah.
Where in 1999 or 2000, when Mike's Hard Lemonade was making its first run, people were still like, no, I'm fat and I like it.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're saying it like that, but I digress either way. But yeah, dude, it was good because we had Mario Kart going, which I'll say right now, everyone, I won the majority of those games. Even in battle,
I was so frustrated, Joe, that you were winning, because I would consider myself good at that game, and I was so mad that you kept winning.
Yeah, I mean, it happens. I didn't win every race. I lost a couple. There's some people did some well-placed lightnings. When we did battle, that was fun. The Big Donut, I got fucked on the Big Donut.
Yeah.
And then we switched to WCW NWO Revenge, and you, my friend, put on a clinic.
I forgot how good I was at that game. Joe, this is like
I just killed a bug on my wall. Hold on.
Are you serious?
All right, go ahead. Yeah, I mean, I'm in a basement. Well,
yeah. It's just crazy how it's like, you play those games and then you realize you're like, oh, I've been competitive about this one thing for 23 years. That's crazy. Like
who were you playing again? Or were you? I mean, we did a Royal Rumble, which was awesome, but you had one guy in particular that I think you just killed it with.
Yeah, who was I? I forget.
Barbarian?
Dude, it's when you die and you spawn as a new person. I was Barbarian, and that's when I was killing you.
Dude, I sucked, man. I couldn't get anything going. I was Buff Bagwell for way too long.
Oh, dude, Buff was great though. Buff Bagwell was
great.
Buff
is the stuff, and the ladies just can't get enough.
Yeah.
If you guys don't know who Buff Bagwell is, and you're watching this on YouTube, I will not take offense if you click off of our live podcast to check out who Marcus Buff Bagwell is. He had a great finisher called the Blockbuster, which you do like a thing on the top rope. It was like a neck breaker.
Yeah.
Jump off the top rope, grab the guy, and like neck. It was almost like a flip suplex type of deal.
Yeah, I forgot.
And then he rolled with, when he was with WCW, he was tag team partners with Big Papa Pump, Scott Steiner.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, when they were in NWO. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, that little muscle.
Pump.
Do you remember that little muscle? Yeah, he had a little thing that was like right there. It's so weird.
It's like an alien coming out. It was like, that shit. By the way, I look pretty fucking good right now. Huh?
You look good, man. Yeah, look at that.
Thanks, dude. I don't know. It's like, they say like you should get, like, you're supposed to get tan to make your arms pop more.
Yeah.
I don't know if everyone's listening knows this, but like, think about bodybuilders. They all fake tan like crazy because it makes your muscles pop. It makes you look bigger.
Yeah.
White people are like, if you have two guys who are the same size, one's like pasty white and one's like, a black dude. The black dude's always going to look more ripped. Even if they're equally ripped, it's just it's an eye thing. I should be careful. I feel like I'm going down a path where it could make me look bad.
No,
you never know. You never know. I feel like any kind of reference to certain things, you gotta be careful. It's probably making it weirder that I'm bringing it up. That I'm pointing it out makes it weirder. You're right, son of a bitch.
Dude, I like that you're bringing that up because, like, I don't know if this is a conversation we should have on live, but like when all this. It's a very good thing that's happening, and I like that it's happening. But like my newer podcast partner, was so afraid that we were going to get called out for maybe jokes that we've made on our podcast, and she like went through all of our podcasts, listening and just was like combing through the tiniest thing like that could be taken the wrong way. And I don't know. I got upset because I was like, our listeners understand our context. Like, we're not bad people. We don't say bad things. We don't push the limit. It's a podcast about The Bachelor. Like, there's nothing wrong to really be said. But it was, it's
unless
crazy.
you say something like, "Man, enough with picking non-white people." No, I'm kidding. You know what I mean?
Oh, dude, it's like, yeah.
Well, here's the thing about that. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Jonah.
No, I'm saying, I mean, there's definitely problems with The Bachelor because, I mean, I've been doing the podcast for like 3 years now, and it's always like, why are you not picking a black bachelor? They had like a black bachelorette, and she was like my favorite bachelorette. So that's a problem, but it's like, I don't know, it's like kind of scary being a comedian that when you have stuff on YouTube, when you're like, yeah, I don't know, man, like 10 years ago, that was like not necessarily an okay thing to say, but it was like, wasn't, you know what I mean? Like when,
yeah, I mean, I've gone over this a few times, but it can't be
like your joke.
Yeah, like the joke I just mentioned, but I still think I don't know why it's not being talked about more, in the sense that, yes, you know, you could go back 10 years ago, and if you say something stupid 10 years ago, it's still stupid, right?
Right.
But what kills me is that there's someone out there who's like, oh, so-and-so got a thing, and I need to now try to tear them down. Like that comedian Shane Gillis on SNL.
Yeah.
He got a thing, and not everyone, but some douchebag out there was like, I'm going to comb through all this stuff. It's a podcast. You know what I mean? Like, I stuck up for a lot of so many podcasts, man, because you're talking, like, think about Joe Rogan's biggest podcast in the world. Rogan talks for 2 hours, an average of 2 hours. Some of his podcasts are 3 hours long, but let's say on average his podcast is 2 hours long. He's done over 1,500. That's 3,000 hours. You're gonna find shit. You're gonna like, and what kills me is what you said is, you know, your listeners know your sense of humor. Like that dude Shane Gillis on SNL, his listeners knew he was joking around, but someone takes it out of context, and that's what's fucked up. You know what I mean? And that's where I can't stand like people who are like, they say that like they're liberals. I'm like, that's not a liberal trait though. That's just a piece of shit trait. Liberals are supposed to be like, if you don't like it, change it. No, that's what they said.
Yeah, yeah. Is this? I feel like this is
my man Kevin Hawkins says the problem is you have a favorite bachelorette. See, you do, and like, I haven't watched The Bachelor or The Bachelorette the last couple of years. And everyone, for backstory, Jonah runs a podcast called Pedals and Pricks, which is a very popular Bachelor podcast. Do you talk about The Bachelorette as well? You guys just do the whole thing, right?
Yeah, we do every episode. They're doing like best ofs right now, so we're not doing that. But yeah, we do Bachelor, Bachelorette, Bachelor in Paradise. They just listen to your heart, which I got shit on, but I thought it was pretty good. But yeah, we do all the. It's a fun.
I like the one where they get them all on an island where you're like, oh yeah, like,
dude, that's Bachelor in Paradise. That's my favorite. That's like, because like the way they edit it too is like they clearly are making fun of these people, which is kind of interesting. This is like a fun podcast, you know. Because like,
no, that's cool, man.
Do you watch reality shows?
I do here and there. I'm not like that into them. It's not like my favorite genre. It's not my favorite genre of television. I'm trying to think of ones that I used to be into. I liked Shark Tank for like a year or two. I watched that. If it's on, I'll give it a try. What other ones? I used to like what's the other one that was pretty good? It's been a while. Yeah, I haven't really. The Bachelor I was watching for a while. I think when I lived in LA, I watched it like every Monday because it was on right. Yeah, it was on right before like I'd run out to do this one open mic that our friend Lindsay Adams would run. So I was that was like a Monday routine. You know, not a lot of stand up on Mondays in LA. Yeah. I mean, the Parlor and the Comedy Store, we'd go to the Comedy Store and hang out, try to get up on stage there. But because like Monday nights are just free for all.
Is that when Amber was on though? No,
Amber was on. Amber James, everyone, a friend of mine who's been on she's been on The Bachelor twice and then Bachelor in Paradise once. Yeah. It was interesting when she was on my podcast because it was right when the podcast was starting out. So I still don't know. I wish people would go back and listen to that one because, you know, still new to this format of the podcast. She told some really cool inside stories. Like they fuck with your head as a contestant.
Yeah.
They close. Like if that was filming right now, the people would, well, I don't know, pandemic they'd probably tell them about, but a lot of stuff they wouldn't tell you about. They wouldn't let them watch the news. They made it so that you were only in that world, and they wanted you to like miss your family. Like you couldn't talk to your family. I think they wanted you to get emotionally strung out. That way you'd cry more, or you'd be more likely to fight another girl. Just like stuff like that where I'm like, ooh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Get a little catty up in that bitch.
Oh, dude, it's crazy to me because like we've interviewed a few people on our podcast that's been on the show, and it's like, I don't know how you feel about this with reality stars, because like, I mean, Joe, you know, we're comedians. We work really hard at this. We're trying to get notoriety. You know, like you have this great podcast. So we're trying to like just like figure it out, you know. And these people, they go from nobody knows who you are one day, and then a month later, everybody knows who you are. Like, could you imagine that? Like, we had Diggy Moreland on, who was a pretty popular person, and then he works at Groupon in Chicago, and he was talking about how like before he was on, he would just like walk down the hallways and like nobody would even look at him and like even really recognize him, and then all of a sudden he's on the podcast. He's on the not podcast. He's on the show, and then he's walking down that same hallway, and people are like pointing, being like, "Oh, that's Diggy from the show," and like people will like give him roses as a joke, and it's just crazy how like I had friends. I had a friend that was on The Real World like years ago, and it's just interesting how like you go from nobody knows you to absolutely famous, kind of, and then that fame is fleeting. Right, you're losing it so much, so you try to do whatever you can to like keep that going, you know?
Yeah, I think the difference, though, you're talking about like with us as comedians and stuff. With them, they weren't pursuing fame. I guess they were once they submitted the audition tape to be on The Bachelor. Where like say 2 weeks from now, you know, one of your jokes on, you know, Instagram just blows up or whatever, right? And all of a sudden you just are swarmed with followers and you're a big deal now. It really wouldn't be overnight. I think there's some famous comedian, I don't know, maybe Richard Lewis or someone like back in the day, who said, oh, by the way, Carl Reiner, RIP everybody. That sucks. But 98 though, also 98. Sad day because he contributed so much to American comedy. Like if you don't know, you know who Carl Reiner is, everybody. For the newer generation, Carl Reiner played Saul in the Ocean's 11 movies.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Very, very good in that role. And he wrote and directed some of the best comedies. The Jerk, Steve Martin, amazing. He collaborated with Steve Martin a bunch. But anyway, I was going to say, but yeah, RIP to him, great guy. Son's a good director too. He played Meathead in All in the Family.
Yeah.
I think the phrase was, it takes like over a decade to become an overnight sensation or something like that. So like to the public, it's like, oh, this person came out of nowhere. But everyone in that world, in that industry knows, oh no, so-and-so had been, you know, grinding it out and doing all this shit and putting in all this work for a long time now. It didn't just happen for them. Right. Especially in comedy, because comedy, you can't be discovered like music. Music, you could just be singing and someone's like, they got a great voice and they're just ready. Because you either have a voice or you don't. I mean, I guess you can make your voice a little bit better over time, but usually the talent's there or it's not. Where comedy, the funniest dude you know in your class, the funniest guy at the bar, the funniest guy you grew up with, they usually 99% of the time can't just go up on stage and be good because it's a different atmosphere. It's a different world. It's a different beast.
Yeah.
I mean, we're like, I meet people all the time that are like, oh, I'm funny, but I think I'm just like inside funny. Like my friends think I'm funny. And I usually tell them, I go, well, listen, obviously that won't play to hundreds of strangers in a comedy club, but with a little bit of work, you could take an inside joke and make it like an outside joke. Yeah. You know, instead of saying, oh, my buddy Mikey, you just say, hey, we all know this one asshole, and you describe Mikey in a sentence, and everyone will be like, oh yeah, that guy, the guy that counts his beers, the guy that like, you know what I mean, the guy that's always like, I was this close to playing D1 or whatever the fuck it is. Everyone like knows that. Type.
Yeah.
My friends listening right now are like, which Mikey is he talking about?
Yeah.
No one's specific.
And it's like, Mikey, you know who the fuck you are. Like, you know.
Yeah. Dude, like fucking there's always that dude that it's weird, man. I still have a couple friends that are like that. I'm in a text thread. I don't give a fuck. My buddy Mike Brogan, I love you, but you gotta stop doing this shit. He'll be like, I had like 17 beers last night. You probably didn't, buddy. No. But also like, stop count. Well, who still counts? We're in our fucking mid-30s. You got 2 kids. Don't be counting your beers anymore. Oh, yeah. It was cool up until 23, I give you. But if you're an adult and you're still like, I had 9 beers last night, I'm like, no, you didn't. Or you did, but also shut the fuck up, grow up.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. So I think if I got like really drunk and somebody was like, "How many drinks do you have last night?" I would be like, "I have no fucking clue." Like I don't like. That's also the people that like count like how many people they slept with. Is sad to me. I always feel like.
I mean, you have a count. You probably have a count, but why would you openly tell people?
I don't know.
You know.
Did you have a count? I don't have a count. I have no idea.
Well, Jonah, I mean, you're putting up Hall of Fame numbers. Nobody. It would be weird if you did know, my man. I've seen.
Yeah.
You guys don't know. I've been around Jonah. This guy, just fighting him off.
Oh, Jesus Christ! You're being nice to me.
I mean, a name like Jonah Jurkens, my friend. You put in the work, and you deserve what the results may be. You know?
Yeah, for
sure. All right, man. I wanted to ask you this because you're a big pro wrestling fan. What's going on with like the WWE right now? I heard like, do they all have this COVID right now?
Dude, I don't really. That's a good question. I don't really know. I kind of stopped watching. It's just so bad right now that the wrestling storylines are shit.
I heard they had Ric Flair out there. Isn't he like 96?
Yeah. No, he just looks like he's 96 because do you know like how like I guess I'm this way, but like okay, I don't want to call out a specific comic, but like okay, I saw Nick Swartzen. I heard him on WTF like years ago, and he was just like, I want to be that comic who like drinks as much as I do now and like kind of makes it okay. And then everybody saw the wrong Missy and they're like, whoa, Swartzen looks like shit. Like he looks bad. Like that's just years of drinking that hard catches up to you, you know?
No, Nick Swartzen is probably an alcoholic. I got a story from you. This is a story about Nick Swartzen that was passed down to me. They were drinking at one of your favorite bars, the Pony. Swartzen was in the Pony.
Really?
And yeah, I wasn't there, but a friend of mine who used to frequent that place a lot was there.
The show was at the Pony.
Oh, the poster behind you?
Yeah, it's at the Pony.
Nice. I like the Pony. It's a good bar. And he got so like fucking drunk. He was with a group and they were like trying to like watch him, make sure he's okay. He disappeared, and then like 4 or 5 in the morning, they got a call from him, and he was like passed out along the train tracks on Ravenswood.
Oh my God, Jesus! Yeah.
He's a fucking mess. Nice guy. I mean, I met him once or twice in L.A.
Yeah,
but like just totally hammered. And is he openly gay or no?
No.
I mean, he is, which is obviously we're all cool with that. Yeah. But like, I didn't know if it was like a known thing or not. I don't know. Like Todd Glass was in the closet for a long time and he came out. I didn't know if he was or not.
Yeah, I don't think he's come out. I know it's kind of like that's kind of interesting with the comedy thing. It's like you kind of like know something about somebody for so long, and then like the public doesn't know. Yeah,
dude. I was talking about that recently with someone about how every comedian knew the Louis C.K. shit.
Oh, years ago. Yeah.
Eric West just said, well, he is now. Like, I'm not outing Nick Swartzen anyone. Maybe I am. Fuck. We're just talking about.
Yeah. I think we just outed Swartzen. Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe he's not gay, but I was under the impression that he was. Or maybe he was just flirting with me to make me uncomfortable because he thought it was funny. I don't know. I was laughing.
He flirted with you?
Yeah, it was that. Dude, it was funny. It was at the fucking the Improv in Hollywood on Melrose, and it was with him and Owen Benjamin. And Owen Benjamin went off the deep end,
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a weird night. But anyway, Nick Swartzen, sexuality doesn't matter anyone. I didn't know. I'm just saying. Dude. But you're right. Do we know shit before the public? And then sometimes your brain's like, is this public knowledge?
Yeah.
Like the Louis C.K. thing, everyone knew about it. I'd heard about it when I first started stamping, like 2007.
Yeah.
And coincidentally, that was like the last year he was accused of it. So that was another thing where like 10 years later it came out, even though everyone had known.
Yeah.
It just, took some time, I guess.
He did my college and we all hung out afterwards. And
what college did you go to?
University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee. And he like we went out and he just wanted to hang out with the boys the whole night. I mean, he never like, I didn't know if he was gay or not, but like I heard stories, and then it was, he was just like, he like was not interested in like meeting girls or, like sometimes you're like where are the girls at? Like, when you meet those comics, and he wasn't like that at all. Super nice guy. Like I had a lot of fun with him, but yeah, it's weird how like I saw Todd. I love David Spade. David Spade is like one of my favorite comedians. Like straight up, like Take the Hit is like one of the best specials I think ever. Because I watched it when I was in middle school, so it was like right at that.
I wish your internet was working better, buddy.
Is it not working that well right now?
I'll just call it out. There's every 7 words you get a little bit of a like. I didn't hear the name of you named David Spade's special, but I don't know what the name is. You went out right at that moment.
Take the Hit.
Take the Hit. Thank you. Yeah. Okay.
I'm sorry, dude. My internet's being all fucked up right now.
Don't worry about it. It's all good, man. People understand. We got a lot of big shit going on in the world. It's okay if they can't understand you every 9 words.
Yeah, it's important.
No, you were saying about David Spade, though. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so like Marty DeRosa and I went to see Spade, and Todd Glass opened, and that's after he came out and he had the heart attack, and he didn't do any jokes about being gay or coming out or having a heart attack. And it's like, you're like such an interesting person. I want to hear jokes about that. Like I want to hear who you are. And for some reason, I don't know why, but he just felt like he shouldn't like talk about that stuff. Or it's like so interesting to hear a person that was like closeted for like such a long time and then have to come out and then like, I want to hear about that. I don't know. I just like,
yeah, maybe he didn't want to, I don't know. Maybe he didn't want to like make people think that he was going to be like the new gay comic on the scene or something. I don't think anyone would really, because everyone's got a lot of respect for Todd Glass. He was cool as hell. A good friend of mine, I came back, what year was this? 2015. You know, I was living in LA, but I came back for that comedy festival, the Comedy Exposition. And my show was at that bar. I was headlining the show right before his show. He was doing like the 10 o'clock, and I was doing the 8 at the Crocodile in Wicker Park. And he was, I think he was on the 10 o'clock. Yeah. And he couldn't have been cooler. Like my buddy Dan Guller, shout out to Dan Guller. He just became a fireman, and Todd wanted to talk to him about fireman shit. And I remember like leaving and then coming back because they were like this like outside little patio area, and the two of them were still like, you know, going on and on. I'm like, oh, it's not that interesting. You put the fires out. Come on, let's talk about some other shit.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, no, I'm kidding. But obviously, he was just like one of those good dudes. You know what I mean? He didn't seem like, you know, I mean, not that he's like super famous, but he talked to every comic and he talked to like every person. Like he was just a regular dude.
That's so cool.
A guy that was on Comedy Central 30 times that one year or whatever. Because he was on Colin Quinn's show all the time.
All the time.
Yeah. But yeah, it's weird though, because what you were saying though, why wouldn't he talk about that? I think what makes us like our favorite comedians and what makes like Bill Burr and Dave Chappelle such monsters is that they talk about what's going on in their life. Yeah. And to, you know, survive a heart attack and like come out of the closet at that age in the same year, essentially. It's like, dude, come on, man. You gotta let us know. Like, give us your take.
Dude, it's so I want to hear about that. Like, that's so cool. Like when comics start really sharing, that's when I'm like, I like them. Like, I think like was it 2 years ago? Chris Rock's last special, Tambourine, his second half was so good because he was like talking about like porn addiction and cheating and divorce, and it was like so personal. I loved it. It was so great.
It was nice to hear someone say. It was really nice to hear someone say, "I was a shitty husband." Like he talked about it. Like I was awful and I was shit and all this kind of stuff. Yeah, the first half of that special, I agree with you, wasn't much, but the second half was fantastic. The first half was bad because we have Twitter now. So when you have a comedian like Chris Rock back in the late 90s, early 2000s, giving his take on hot button issues, it's just boring now. It's like we know. Like everyone has 24-hour news networks. I mean, by noon I could give a fuck about what's going on in the news.
Right.
Because I'm already bored by it, you know. So I don't want to hear a comedian's take on it.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to come at it in a really original way. That's the way I feel.
Right. And that's why, like, when he switched to like his personal shit, I was like, man, like, because
here's a post. I didn't mean to cut you off. Todd Glass wrote a book about it, not the same as the comedy routine, but I enjoyed it. Thank you, Eric West, for that comment. All right, there we go.
Great. I would love to check that out. I would love to check that out. Yeah.
Do you read? Are you a reader? Do you know how to read books and stuff?
Well, I don't know. I don't know how to read, but I have a lot of books. I always buy books and then I never read them. But I like owning
books more than I like reading them too.
Yeah, like
It's just nice to look at a bookcase full of books.
Yeah, dude. Like literally right above here, I have books. So I'm like, didn't read that. Here, I'm gonna tell you something. Here's a couple. I have Steal the Show, which is about storytelling. Never read that. I have the Publicity Handbook. Never read that. Clearly,
you should check that one out. Yeah.
Here we go. I have Competitive Advantage, which is all about.
I wanted you to take like a Kama Sutra out. Clearly,
no. I have The It Factor, which is all about something. I don't know.
What is The It Factor? No, seriously, what is that about?
Be the one people like, listen to, and remember. So it's about I think it's about Bezos actually.
Jeff Bezos?
Yeah, somebody. Oh, is this fun for you or no?
It is actually, man. I'm hoping you'd get something juicy though.
I have The Modern Gentleman.
There we go.
Which is a guide to essential manners, savvy, and vice.
Does it teach you how to finger? What's going on with that one? Huh?
Yeah, it says
be a gentleman about it, fellas.
This whole thing's all about fingering. It's really nice.
Don't go in dry with calloused fingers, you pieces of shit.
No, dude. Do your fucking fingernails.
That's a big problem right now with the gender equality. If men know how to properly finger, not all men, obviously.
The psychology of influence of persuasion. This is when I was really into sales, and it was all about convincing people to make them do what you want. I lent my book out, but I have the fuck is it called? I have the mystery book. Do you remember Mystery? The pickup artist book? The pickup artist?
I mean, obviously I never had to read anything like that.
No, yeah, you're the most handsome boy in the world. You have a very pretty wife.
6 feet tall and I have blue eyes, so it's like, why would I need to?
Right.
I thought The Game by Neil Strauss was the big one.
That's it. That's the game. That's it. The Game. I have that, Game. But I lent it out to Blake Burkhart's dad because he wanted to read it.
Fuck off. Really? Is his dad single?
I swear to God. I don't know. Yeah. Well, yeah, he is single because his wife died 2 years ago. But yeah.
That took a dark ass turn, man. I was not expecting
it did.
A dark turn like that.
It did. Don't worry.
He's single. His wife's dead. But come on, you could have said that gently.
Joshua Jay's amazing book of cards. If you want to learn how about
cards. I totally forgot. Hey, everybody. Jonah Jurkens. By the way, I know some people are like, they're really going through his fucking library.
You might like, Joe, this is the last one we do. You might like this. I Can't Accept Not Trying with Michael Jordan on the Pursuit of Excellence. This is a very good book. This is just Michael Jordan quotes about how crazy.
Anything Michael Jordan quotes, I'm all about it. I like a good quote book.
Yeah.
I've read books of like presidential quotes and stuff. They're nice. They're fun. It's an easy read and you get some wisdom out of it, you know. But dude, you reminded me with that magic book. You were like a production on what's the Carbonaro Effect?
Yeah.
I see like reruns for that on during the day all the time on True TV.
Yeah, I had to sign an NDA, so I don't know exactly what I can say. But basically what I did is I would set up the people to get pranked was my job. So I would so basically like the people that got pranked on the show like thought they were doing, most of them thought that they were doing an errand for a job that they had. And I was the boss at the job they had. And I would say, I need you to go to this Walgreens and I need you to buy like a blue pair of gloves. And then that's how Mike Carbonaro would know that person is getting pranked. Was kind of like, yeah.
By the way, everything you described sounds like what you shouldn't be talking about if you sign an NDA.
I know. But that was a few years ago, so I think I'm fine.
You're probably fine.
Whatever.
Okay, well, let me know if I have to take this one down. I've had to do that in the past for people.
No, I don't care.
I do have a couple podcasts I had to take down. They're on the Patreon, though, everyone. Feel free to check out the good old Patreon information right there at the bottom of the screen.
Oh my God, you had that. Was it the Joe? Was it the St. Patrick's Day episode from 2 years ago?
No, that one. Oh man, that one never got published. We did a live St. Patrick's Day episode of the podcast was it March of 2019? Yeah, it had to be because we didn't do March of 2020. And man, did I get drunk. You at one point, I had the clip. I should post that one on YouTube. I'll post it on YouTube this week, everybody.
With Nolan?
Maybe Friday. It's a great clip. It's so funny. So we had like a panel going for that one, and people were popping in and out of the mic. But the core four, after Alex Joyce, I love you, but you said 3 words during a podcast, so it was easy to replace you on the mic. And finally, someone's like, "Take the fucking mic for him. He's not even talking."
Yeah.
I don't know if he was too drunk or tired, but it was Nolan Rafferty, owner of Galway Bay Pub, Jonah Jurkens, whose face you're looking at right now, myself, and comedian Joe Fernandez, who's been on the podcast a lot. Love Joe. You are pouring your heart out to Nolan about how your parents, I'm not giving away anything, everyone. I'm not outing Jonah here. He's very open about this. How his parents were heroin addicts and how, childhood wasn't all that great because of it. And Joe Fernandez and I are not listening to it all. Like, and James Webb, our producer, showed up, and we have multi-camera shoot going. We have 3 cameras going, and he's got the camera on you and Nolan, and Nolan's like, yeah. And then you're talking, you're like, yeah. And then it was my mom's rock bottom hit when she found me. And then Nolan just goes, hold on. Hey, shut the fuck up, you idiots. And it cuts to me and Fernandez, and I'm just like pushing Fernandez, like laughing about something, totally ignoring you. And then Nolan's slurring his words because he's hammered out of his mind. And this is all at noon. This is at noon, everybody, on actual St. Patrick's Day. None of that parade day bullshit. Yeah. People usually in Chicago like to go, the Saturday before St. Patrick's Day we'll party. No, you party on the real day. And I pray every year it's on a Tuesday because the real people show up on a Tuesday. Anyhow, and it cuts to us and we're like, laughing like fucking children. And Nolan's like, hey, his dad died. Heroin. Shut the fuck up, you idiots. Yeah. And then he's like, we're like, wait, your dad died? And then Nolan's like, my dad's not dead. He's over there. Dad. Because his dad was playing pool and shit. Yeah. And then I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, man. I feel bad. I go, so tell me about your dad. I'm slurring my words and stuff. And you're like, oh no, I was just saying about my dad. And then it cuts back to me. I'm on my phone. It cuts to you. And it cuts back to me. And I'm literally on my phone, just not paying attention.
That's so funny.
It really was hilarious. I was crying with laughter because. And then it went back to Nolan, and he was on his phone. You pouring your heart out about this serious thing, and all 3 of us could give a fuck, not listening whatsoever.
That was such a fun day. It's one of those days where you're like, yeah, I'm going to be creative and fun. And then it just ends up being a shit show. And you're like, I don't want anyone to ever. I think I blacked out on that podcast for sure.
No, that podcast was almost 3 hours long. And the video, everyone, I'm pretty sure is completely all the way up on my Patreon. So if you ever want to check that out, check out the Patreon. I think like $3 a month. Be a great way to support the podcast. Hey, everyone listening. What's $3 a month? One less beer? Bars are closed anyway. They're closing in Texas and Arizona tomorrow. Can't go to bars. Well, Chicago's open now, actually.
Yeah. Have you gone?
Yeah. I have not yet. I was going to text Nolan because Galway's open. I want to go when it's chill. I didn't like, look, you know me, Joan. I'm a big bar guy. I love pubs.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to the first day, everyone's going to be there, and it's almost like an amateur hour type of thing.
Yeah.
It's like your New Year's Eve or your St. Patrick's Day where you're like, all these people who it's like, really, Jonathan, you went to a bar 3 times last year. You just had to go on opening day. You were dying. You were all cooped up. It's like, that's what killed me. All these people who never exercised a day in their life, quarantine shows up and they're all like, I got to find a gym. It's like, why do you, excuse me, everyone. I just didn't get it. I didn't get that way of thinking.
Dude, I've been doing a lot of walks. That's my quarantine thing.
Walks are good.
Yeah, and I've been doing 10 miles a day, dude. It's crazy how much I'm doing. But it's so
10 miles.
Yeah, I walked 10 miles today. Yeah, I walk 10 miles probably at least 4 times a week because Marty, who's been on your podcast, was all about walking because he's in his 40s, and
that's such a dick way to say it. That is such a dick way to say it.
I know.
He's walking up because he's old as fuck in the knees. Yeah, going, so that's all he's got.
He went up an incline and then pulled his calf muscle because he's old as shit. Says the guy who's 37. So I just wanted to beat him in his steps. So I've been doing so many steps. That's dude, I have no direction right now. I don't know how I mean, you have 2 kids, so understandably that's good. I have no direction. I have nothing that I'm shooting for. I don't, so my only goal is trying to beat my step count. But that's
All
all
right,
I
Jonah.
have. What?
Jonah, I'm here for you. I'm here for you.
Yeah.
I'm here for you. Let's talk about this. You feel sad about having no direction, right?
Yeah.
What's you do you have any fears right now? Are you worried about the future?
Oh, dude, my anxiety has been through the roof. Is yours has not?
No, it has been, man. There's a lot. Like I try to, everyone who knows me knows I'm a very positive guy. I'm very uplifting and positive, and
Sure.
even keel, always in control of my emotions.
100%.
I've just, it's weird because we don't know when the thing we do, we never thought it would just cease to exist essentially. And I'm optimistic. I mean, Comedy Bar is doing rooftop shows. I did a show in Wisconsin on Saturday. We probably should have talked about this. Yeah, I did a show with comedian Rebecca Gibson. The two of us went up to Wisconsin.
Oh,
Lake
that's right.
Ellen.
Yeah, I saw Rebecca this weekend. She told me about that. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was fun. It was good. I mean, shout out to Tyler, Vic, and Megan who produced, booked those shows for Team US Comedy. It was good. It was just like, it was weird to be out, and it was good for the circumstances. The people in that town, and I get it's a small town, I get it. That pandemic didn't hit them. It didn't happen to them. Like, I don't think they're aware of the rest of what's happening. And the sad thing is usually until it's too late, Like I talked to one guy and he was like, these masks are bullshit. And I'm like, oh, well, that's not true, actually. It's like, my wife's a nurse, my stepmom's a nurse, I'm related to doctors, my cousins, like it helps. Of course it helps. Yeah. Why wouldn't it help? It's not foolproof. It's not like, it reduces the chances of you spreading it to someone else. Wearing the mask isn't to protect you so much as to protect other people. So yeah, it helps. It's not 100%. And we haven't talked too much COVID on the podcast lately. I did an episode all about it when it first broke. It's a real thing, everybody. I mean, if you're healthy, you're probably going to be okay. But I've heard of healthy people who died, and people were like, I can't believe this shit. Like, it has happened. Over 120,000 people have died. Have certain states maybe fucked up numbers? Perhaps. But we've now found out that Florida fucked up the numbers in the other way. Florida, from like in the same time period over the last 10 years, has had like 800 people die of pneumonia. This year, 5,000 people have died of pneumonia in the same time frame. Now, did they really have pneumonia, or did they have fucking the coronavirus? And Florida was marking it the other way because that's just how they roll. You know what I mean? It's incredible. Yeah, go ahead, bud.
I'm saying I didn't know that. That's crazy.
It's true. Yeah, check it out. It's just incredibly sad to me that everything is so politicized now, that every little fucking thing, and it's both sides are fucking guilty. The media is the most to blame. I don't know anyone. I've got you and I in our world have way more friends on the left than on the right, but I also have a lot of friends, Republican friends, conservative, and they hate the media obviously big time. And the people on the left hate the media. I don't know anyone who likes the media, who thinks the media is doing a good job. Yeah. I know they fucking tend to make things way worse than they need to be. I think a lot of the spike has gone up. I mean, some people are saying it's not related to the protests, which I find a little hard to believe. I mean, you got that many people together. Yeah. I'm not saying people shouldn't be protesting. It's your right to do that, of course. But you'd think a little bit of a residual. But the fact that Chicago, which had tons of it, hasn't seen a spike. Who knows? Dude,
it's crazy.
It's one of those things where it's like,
oh, sorry. I was saying it's to add to what I know my fucking connection sucks right now. To add to what you're saying, it's crazy because I thought we would see a big spike because of the protests. Yeah. But we're not, because I look at those numbers every day, and Illinois has done so well, and I think also because all of us. Dude, amazing. And then because I think all of us were like, you got to wear a fucking mask. And we were like, okay, whatever. Like, why?
You know why? Because
why fight
believe it or not, I think it's because we're alcoholics. And also Chicagoans, we're used to staying indoors through April anyway, because the weather sucks so much ass. Yeah. So everybody, and so many people I know have always, I think, like New Yorkers, their apartments are so small that they like to be out and about. Whenever I've visited friends in New York, we barely are inside, always out and about. LA, people in LA are just like selfish in a lot of ways. So I understand why LA it's spread so much. And I'm using Chicago. I'm bringing up New York and LA because these are the other two big cities. Now Houston, their local government didn't really take it seriously enough. Talking to some Texas friends, and Houston's medical center, which is one of the biggest in the country or the world or whatever, they're at like 97% capacity right now. If they have another couple bad weeks, they have another week like they just had, they're fucked down in Texas.
That's scary.
Our own Pentagon said that they're banning U.S. military from going to certain states. I think it's like Florida, Texas, and Michigan, maybe. I don't know. There's like 3 or 4 states. I guess Michigan's on the rise again too, which is surprising because I thought they did a good job. But then they also had a lot of people protesting there too. My point with Chicagoans is that I think we heard if we don't stop this, the summer is going to be in trouble. So everyone was like, all right, we got word, March 13th, March 14th, we're shutting down the bars. It was right after St. Patrick's Day weekend because they probably should have shut them down before that weekend.
Oh, yeah.
And right? So we got word, all right, we're shutting stuff down. And everyone, I think a lot of Chicagoans were just like, all right, weather's going to suck for a while. And it did. The weather was garbage. It was raining every day. It was cold for a while. So I think we were just like, all right, we'll chill out because we want our festivals come summertime. We want our street fest. And this is a big street fest town. Everyone listening across the country that you might not be aware of that. But every weekend in the summer in the city of Chicago, there's multiple festivals going on, whether it's like a rib fest, a burger fest, a retro music fest, or whatnot. It's one of the cool things about this city is drinking outside. So I think everyone's like, all right, we'll chill inside for another 6 weeks or so. And look, I was on text threads with a lot of different friends, and some of them were pissed off by it, and others were like, whatever.
Yeah,
we're all got to do it anyway. I think the big mistake was our government did a shitty job economically. You're forcing businesses to shut down. You need to take more measures than just here's a $1,200 check, and then giving all the money to these corporations that we're probably gonna be fine anyway. Yeah. I know we have a lot of friends with small businesses who are like, I could apply for one of those PPP loans, but the fucking rates are dog shit. So once businesses are opening back up, I'm going to be operating at a loss even further. It sucks. A little burger place up the street from me that I love. This place called Stacker's closed, but they're closed permanently now.
Really? Oh, that's sad.
Yeah, man. Yeah. What could you do there?
It's
I didn't mean to depress everybody. I know this is supposed to be a comedy podcast, and I feel like I just depressed everybody by talking about this shit. I just want everyone around the country, wear the fucking mask. It's not that big a deal. All right. It's kind of fun. Every time I'm about to walk into a Target, I put the mask on. I envision myself robbing the joint. It's kind of a fun little thing. I go, all right, let's fucking go.
Yeah.
When I hit my aisle, I get the fuck out of there as quickly as I can, which is hard to do sometimes because it's Target.
Yeah. What would you steal? So if you were going to steal something, what would be like your go-to?
All right. Well, I just bought a new TV, so I don't need anything electronic. I need a better Blu-ray player, though. That's for sure.
That's important.
Now, you are on 4K now, I heard, right?
I'm all new. Yeah. I'm all 4K right now.
So do you have to get a 4K player, or does Blu-ray play 4K?
No. So there's Blu-ray, which is 1080p or 1080i, 1080p, and then there's 4K, which is like twice that. So if you want to play 4K, you have to buy I don't want to walk away, but dude, Jaws just came out in 4K. There's so many movies that are coming out in 4K right now.
My TVs are 4K, but I know
you have to get a player. You have to get a player that is. Yeah.
Right,
it's like some movies are so worth it. It looks good. I'm also a fucking nerd about this shit, but
dude, I have Disney Plus. Disney Plus, and the Marvel movies in 4K do look really fucking badass, man.
Right? They look great,
dude.
But
you talking Endgame?
Yeah,
I have a 4K. I have a 4K television. Yeah.
Yeah. What TV did you get, if you don't mind me asking?
I got a 65-inch Vizio.
Okay. I heard if you go to Vizio.com/Kilgallon's Pub, you get 10% off if you type in.
I wish, man.
Yeah.
Who goes to the website of the television brand directly?
Yeah.
It's funny. I was gonna get a Samsung this crystal thing, but the one salesman was like, "Dude, so many people have been complaining about these," and I was like, "All right." And then I started looking at reviews, and people were like, "Oh, Vizio is a little bit on the cheaper side, but they had the most positive reviews." And I was like, "Really?"
This is great TV, man.
Yeah, and Samsung's reviews weren't great. People were like, and that doesn't surprise me. Although I know so many people like rave about the Samsung Galaxy now. I had the very first Samsung Galaxy, and I fucking hated it. And
Really?
then the phone. Here's why I switched to the iPhone. The battery on my Samsung swelled up, and it didn't blow up in my fucking face, luckily, because I know that was happening. But it swelled up, and I couldn't put it back in.
Are you
Like
serious?
the thing popped out when I went to put it back in. I'm like, it doesn't fit anymore. And I brought it to like a cell phone place, and they're like, "Oh yeah, you just need a new phone. See how it's like swelled up right there." I'm like, "Yeah,
That's scary.
yeah." The only other thing I liked about the Samsung Galaxy, the one that's the one I had like the first one of it, which was trying to compete with the iPhone, was it came with the movie Inception. So I had the movie Inception on my phone.
Which is on 4K now, which is great.
Yeah, I really
Yeah.
liked that movie at the time, so I was pretty
Yeah.
into it.
Yeah. Are you
But what
watching
would I
like
steal? No, man, I go back to that. That's a good question. What would I steal, dude? I'm such a good dad. I'd be stealing toys for my boys. Toys for the boys. I
boys?
like
What would okay, so great question. So what would be like the first thing you steal for your kids? Like what do you want? What's the one thing you want to get to your kids that you haven't yet? Like a Papa Shot?
Ooh, fuck, dude! I was thinking because we were drinking in the garage. That
Yeah.
garage needs a pop shot. I need a pop shot in the garage.
Do you need one so bad? Yeah.
Yeah, because that would really help us socially distance better too.
Yeah.
Because we had 4 players on the 64, and we were spread all right. We were pretty
Yeah.
decent. But then we had a couple other people hovering over because they wanted to watch the action because there was nothing else
Yeah.
to occupy. Yeah, dude, it was. I'm gonna have people over in the garage again. We can't smoke cigarettes though because the wife complained that the whole garage just stunk like cigarettes the next day.
Good.
So that's got to get out. We're gonna have someone go into the alley. I'll put a little chair out in the alley, smoke out there, help the garage door open a little bit. What else do I need in there? I need to like better. Now the lighting's fine, but I need to decorate it a little bit more. I felt like if it felt a little cold.
What would you
decorate a little? Throw a flag up, some posters.
Dude, this is a good question. If you had unlimited money, right? And then your wife was like, whatever you want to do with the garage, do it. What would be like your top 3 changes? Like what would you do to make the garage like a Joe Kilgallon hangout place? I hate I hate the term man cave. I hate that term. I think it's so stupid, but like what would you do?
What would I do? All right. Well, here's what I've always wanted. I've wanted a pool table. Badly.
Yeah, nice.
Look, we don't even park in the garage, but we have to keep enough space in case we go on a vacation and we need to throw a car in the garage.
Right.
So I was talking about Nolan earlier. He wanted to like rent out my garage for a little bit because he was going to buy a car for his kid or something. Yeah, dude. All right. I saw a garage on one of those HGTV shows where they actually like drywalled it and it looked pretty fucking great.
Oh. Smart.
Yeah, right. I'd want it. They painted the floor too, so it was still like a concrete floor, but it was like painted, so it looked nice. I'd want to do that. All right, I want an arcade game. I want either Blitz or NBA Jam. If I have unlimited money, I'm getting both. What am I doing?
Dude, you can do
maybe Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles arcade or Simpsons was really fucking good too.
Yes. You can do so Arcade 1-Up. Do you know about this?
No.
So Walmart has it. I think Kmart has it. Maybe I don't if Kmart's still a thing, but like they make these like makeshift arcade like boxes basically with a screen, and it's like $400 or $500 each. And but they have a NBA Jam one, and they have 3 versions of Jam. I think they have a Turtles one where they have a bunch of different versions of Turtles, and they have like Street Fighter. And they have like Golden Tee. So it's like an arcade cabinet that's affordable.
Oh, so how much like did it cost? Did you say that or I missed that?
It's like I did say that because my internet sucks. It's $400 to $500. It's expensive.
That's not bad. I mean,
yeah.
A friend of ours, CJ Toledano, he had a NBA Jam that he bought, I think, for like $1,200 at his place in LA.
Oh, really? Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, at his old apartment, which is nuts because he lived like in the Silver Lake Hills, I think it was. Where do you live? Or the Highland Park Hills? Highland Park's a neighborhood in LA. Also a very wealthy suburb of Chicago. But and it looked like a night. I remember going to parties at his place and kind of it was fun, but you dreaded it because you have to like walk up the steepest incline, and then you're drunk and you're rolling back down to your car. You don't drink and drive. We don't drink and drive, everybody.
No, it's not good. It's not safe.
Not good. We don't do that. That's not a good thing. I know I sound insincere because I'm changing my voice, but this is the best I got. Yeah,
I'm also
dude.
doing like, no, it's not. No, it's not. With my hands. No, it's not.
Yeah,
No.
you
Yeah.
do. Yeah, anyone watching knows Jonah's being sincere. Yeah, the arcade games would be really dope. A pool table. See, look, I mean, I got a pretty good sized garage. It's about a 2-car garage. I could clean it out way better than I have. I got to put some stuff up in like the rafters. That's where I've fucked up. I don't use that space as well as I could. But an arcade would be great. Pool table would be really great. I get one of those things to throw on top of it so we could play like cards on the pool table too. The Papa Shot, dude. You're really selling me on Papa Shot.
Dude, speaking of which,
I think that's it. And put up another TV. That way you have one TV for video games, another TV for like watching sports or a movie, watching Jaws in 4K.
Dude, Jaws in 4K. So good. And this Dolby Atmos surround sound. You should get surround sound for your garage. It would be great.
I don't have surround sound at my house, but get in my garage. It'd probably be easier to set up in the garage though.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. That's interesting. It's interesting you brought up CJ because CJ also he got a Pop Shot. That's what made me think of Pop Shot. Is because of CJ.
He does. He has one in his garage.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, man. I would my kid would like that enough, but they're young, like 3 and 1. They're not really Papa Shot age.
Oh,
so I would have to. Ooh, this is a good one. Ron Grant throws out a hot tub, maybe. That's not bad.
No. You want a hot tub?
I mean, you want more open air for a hot tub. Hot tub's more for the yard than I suppose a garage. What would I steal for my kids? My son likes a lot of like race car stuff right now. He's into like the tracks for that, so I have to give him some of that. Still a big fan of Toy Story, so I would just dump the Toy Story stuff. There used to be like commercials when we were kids for Toys R Us where it's like you can win a unlimited or a 1-hour shopping spree at Toys R Us.
Dude, yeah.
Remember the shit in the commercial? It showed a kid with a cart just pushing shit in because it's as much stuff as you could get for 1 hour. And I don't know if you got one card or multiple cards, or if you could reuse cards, or I remember seeing like watching Power Rangers when I was like 9 and hearing commercials being like enter, because you used to enter like there was all sorts of contest like prizes and like contests you could enter in commercials. I don't see those nowadays. No. Granted, I don't watch a lot of regular television anymore, but I don't think they exist the way they used to. I know Toys R Us doesn't exist, but in general, you'd think there'd be more like, hey, enter and win. And you could do like this cool thing.
Yeah. Like literally, that's why I brought that. That's why I asked you that question, because of the shopping spree thing where you would like, you have 5 minutes to get whatever you want inside one cart. And I would always plan any store I would go to as a kid. I would plan what that outcome would be for me. Like I would go here first, throw the shit in because it's smaller, and then kind of build up to bigger stuff. Like, it was like I'm in my 30s. I still do that in my brain, where I would be like, okay, if I want an unlimited shopping spree, this is exactly what I would do. And like, do you remember Snick at Night?
Yeah, Snick at Night was no, what was that? Because wouldn't it be just regular Nick at Night when it was old stuff?
Yeah, but it was Saturday Nick at Night, so it was like
did they have like Tales from the Crypt and stuff like that?
Yeah, no. Well, yeah. It wasn't Tales from the Crypt. What was the scary show?
Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Are You Afraid of the Dark? Yeah. And they would do this thing where they would, if you entered into their contest, they would call you up, and if you answered like, "Hey, it's Snick at Night," you would get like that shopping spree thing. And I never entered in, but I always thought I was going to get the call. So like at that Saturday, I would tell my mom, do not answer the phone. I answer every phone call. And it would be like, Stick at Night. Even though like I never entered into the contest. Like that's things like our kids, like your kids, if I have kids, they'll never know that excitement of a phone call, a house phone call. Where you're like, dude, right?
That's a good point. I used to have so much fun prank calling people or just, dude.
Yeah.
I remember even in high school, we would answer the phone in like dickhead ways.
Yeah.
What was the one? My one friend, because we'd hang out at his house all the time. My friend Pat Gamboni, fun name, good dude. We would answer his phone and be like, Gamboni, some are home, some are home, some are not. Yeah, it's a great name, right?
Yeah.
My one friend had one that was like so inappropriately evil, but also hilarious. he would answer the phone and say, Cook County abortion. I can't say the whole thing. Never mind. I can't. No, I can't. I just remembered halfway into it. I'm like, no, I can't even do it. I can't. Everyone subscribe to the Patreon. I'll say it because I'm going to do a little bonus with Jonah tonight. I'll post it tomorrow. I'll say that full one. I can't even say the whole fucking thing, dude. It's not even worth it. It's not worth it for the laugh, man.
So I
feel like I bitched out everyone. I feel like I bitched out on you guys on that one. Damn it. I feel like
Joe, so here's my story. So I would on like Wednesdays, I'd visit my grandma who lived like 30 minutes away from me. I'm from Wisconsin. She 30 minutes away. And I would call my friends on the landline and I'd say, hey, come over, hang out. And they're like, okay, cool. And then they live like 3 blocks away. So they would, I thought it was so funny that they would come all the way to my house with their bike, probably a dyno VFR. And
nice.
Yeah, and then knock on my door and then nobody would answer. I lost probably 3 friends because I was like, hey, come over, hang out with me. And then to me, I thought it was the greatest prank I've ever done in my whole entire life. And I was I was 30 minutes away. I was a different city.
Dude, right? That is so fucking dumb. I'm sorry. I love you, but your big prank was come over to my house.
Yeah.
You weren't home.
I wasn't home. I thought it was the funniest thing.
That is like, you know, it's a really underrated television show of the last decade, a show called New Girl. And
that's my favorite show. Yeah.
Really? It's one of mine too. I've been watching reruns of it before I go to bed lately. It's on Netflix. So and good. So good. I got another Netflix show I want to ask you about because I'm starting to watch it and I'm enjoying it. You ever watch a show where you're like, I'm enjoying the hell out of this, but nobody really talked about it? Does that mean it was bad and I just had bad taste?
Is it the floor? Is it the floor is lava?
No, it's not the floor is lava because everyone's talking about that. I haven't checked that.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. Okay.
It's not that one. But here's what I was going to say about New Girl. The one character, Winston, is played by I forget the guy's name, Lamore something or other. He's from Chicago. Funny dude.
Lamore Crawford, right? No, Lamore.
No,
he's so funny.
Crawford. He's a very funny stand-up comedian too, Lavelle Crawford. He was also Bill Burr's partner in Breaking Bad.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So anyway, they talked about how his pranks either went way too big or too small.
Yes.
And that's why I feel like that his example was they cut to him where he got someone deported and they're like too big. And then it cut back to where like the one character Schmidt's eating cereal and he's like, what's this, a blueberry? And then he's just like, gotcha. It's like, okay, I like blueberries. That wasn't like too small or way too big, you know?
Yeah.
And I feel like that's yours by being like, come on over.
I got him so bad. Dude, that guy, that actor is so underrated in that show. He's so funny. And I hate that he doesn't get the recognition.
All the actors on that show are really funny, dude, I feel like.
I have
Nick Johnson or no, Jake Johnson is
Jake
great.
Johnson. I have a comedy crush on Jake Johnson. I think he's so funny. Like, he's great.
No, he's fantastic. The guy who played Schmidt, I forget his name, is really, really good.
Oh, good.
He was actually in a movie that's over here by me.
Wolf of Wall Street.
No, was he in Wolf of Wall Street? No, he looks like he would be. The Big Short. He was in a couple scenes in The Big Short. He plays one of like.
Oh, that's something. No, I'm thinking of The Big Short. Yeah, he's great in that. Yeah.
He plays one of the young mortgage broker guys in Florida, where they're like,
yeah,
we'll give a mortgage to anybody. We don't even verify income. Who gives a shit?
Yeah. He's like, don't even matter.
And then later, at the end of the movie, they show him at a job fair because it's like your job doesn't exist anymore. But that was a great movie. I got to watch that one again. Dude, we were talking about that in the garage. Remember, we got into it.
Yeah.
All the guys, we started talking about movies, and I think I was talking about like Oscar winners. A lot of them are fucking overrated. And then I talked about Spotlight. How I liked Spotlight as a movie with Michael Keaton. Everyone. It's about the Boston Globe, the newspaper. They exposed the child molestation thing going on with the Catholic Church in Boston, and it was a great movie. But to me, The Big Short should have won that year because I already hated child molester priests. But The Big Short made me like hate and question America's the whole capitalism. Dude. You know how hard it is to make people who grew up like Americans it made Americans want to hate capitalism, which is a harder thing to do than to make people hate child molesters.
Right.
And and I knew that story. I feel like they'd have been like, I know, like the Catholic priest thing. I feel like Spotlight, great movie, but it should have been made 10 years earlier.
Yes.
Where The Big Short came out in 2014 or 2015, and it was about all the shit that happened in 07, 08. So I feel like that was,
Yeah. It's so because you and I were on the same page, because I actually so on the whole way home after your place, I got in a fight with the two comedians at your place because they were Spotlight's great. I go, yes, it is great, but The Big Short is a better movie. Like, it's just a fucking better movie. It's
more entertaining.
I literally watched it. It's so good, dude. And like Ryan Gosling is great in it, and Steve Carell is fantastic, and Christian Bale. Bale, dude. Brad Pitt is great.
People like Christian Bale is an underrated actor. I never liked his Batman voice. That. Where is it?
Yeah.
Oh, man, where is it? Like that kind of shit. You know what I mean? The Joker's a madman. Like whatever the fuck he always did. Like he overdid the Batman voice. Someone made a good point about the Batman voice, saying all the other Batmans were idiots because they didn't disguise their Bruce Wayne voice.
Yeah.
He actually disguised it, which made him smart. Because Bruce Wayne's such a big star of a citizen in Gotham that someone would have been like, doesn't Batman sound like Bruce Wayne? Maybe. But either way, I just didn't like the voice where it's just like, where is it? That kind of shit. But he's a great actor, man. American Psycho, fantastic. The Fighter. Dude, you ever see The Fighter with Mark Wahlberg?
So good in The Fighter. Yeah. I love
Stole the movie. He won the movie for that.
He won a Best Supporting for that. He's great.
Yeah, man. Jonah, I want to talk movies with you now, just to give everyone a little teaser right now. It was good. It was good to have a fun, silly little podcast here where we talked about some fun shit or some somewhat serious stuff. I now am gonna hold Jonah back for a little bonus in which we're gonna play Fuck, Marry, Kill. I got a big box of DVDs here.
Is it the ones I gave you?
You gave me 5 or 6, but this box is about 25 or 30. I'm gonna pull some random ones out. And based on the stars of them, I'm going to give you Fuck, Marry, Kill for those. I think that'll be a fun way to do it for the bonus. Because I have to apologize to my Patreon subscribers. I haven't given you anything new in a couple weeks. My latest album came out, everyone, which big shout out to everyone who bought it or listened to it. And you can now stream it. I don't care. It's buy it though. It's better. I get more money than if you just listen to it on Spotify. It was number 1 on iTunes.
Can I give you a compliment?
Yeah, thanks, man.
Dude, so I've known you for a long, long time. I've known of you for even longer, and you've always been one of my favorite comedians, and your first 2 albums were great, but this last album absolutely was incredible, and I think if anybody likes you even a little bit, they have to buy it because it's fantastic, and I really love where your comedy's going, and you're such an inspiration to me, and I love it. You're great.
Oh, thanks, man. That's really nice.
Yeah, dude. I mean that.
I'm glad you like it. The album's called I Didn't Say Anything Bad. The previous ones are available too. Pay Attention was my first one in 2015, and Can't Complain was last year. I think I like Can't Complain a little bit better. I don't know why.
Really?
I was thinking about it the other day. Which of the two do I like a little bit better? And I think I like Can't Complain. I don't know. Other people have told me this one's my best. They go at, and it should be. You want everyone to get better than the previous.
Right. Yeah.
I think, I think Can't Complain was a cool part of my life where the first half was written before I became a dad, and the second half was written right after I became a dad.
Yeah.
I almost made it. I almost wanted to push it where I was going to be one theme, one topic, but it's broken into 2. If it was back in the day we have a side A and side B of the record, side A would have been all about before having the kid, and side B would have been after the kid. But instead, really, if you notice, I open with some silly shit, but then when I get into it, I talk about, all right, we're planning on having a baby, and then it ends with the delivery.
Yeah.
So I thought about making it one theme, but the first half's I'm going to become a dad. What's that going to be like? Blah blah blah. And then the second half is just kind of some life stuff. And then I circle back. But this last one is about, I have 2 kids now. So I had some more It was more, a little bit more fatherly wisdom, I suppose.
Okay, so I'm gonna derail this for a second because I really want to ask you this because like you're younger than I am, and I respect you as a person and as a comedian. Like,
Thank you.
yeah, thank you. You're welcome. How was that? Like
Go on.
the moment your son was born. Like how like what kind of change is that? Like I'm such a virgin to that. I don't know. Like that's incredible.
I don't know if it could be
Okay.
summed up in like a sentence or two. So we had a fun thing where we didn't know the sex of either time. We didn't know boy or girl going into it.
I don't know.
So
Interesting. Okay.
it was my job to look first and then tell my wife. So both times I was like, "Oh, there's a baby," and "Oh, that's a dick, boy,"
Yeah.
And like, dude, it's really surreal because you're getting to know, you're seeing the woman growing,
Yeah.
and this belly and kicking like crazy. Like the last like 6 weeks, it's almost like there's a little gremlin in there moving around, doing like,
Wow.
yeah, and then all of a sudden it's like it's there, and there's a thing that kind of comes over you in this weird sense where it's like, oh, that's mine. Not in like a weird possessive,
Yeah.
controlling freak type of way, but it's almost
Yeah.
like you're my baby, and like in that moment, it's like pure joy, and you almost feel like, and I've said this to couple people, and I don't. It's weird to say because you don't want to come off. I don't know what the word I'm looking for is. You don't want to come off like what I'm experiencing is better than what you're experiencing or something,
Right.
because it's unfair to people who don't want to have children. If you don't want to have children, good. I'm not saying good. I'm saying like good for you for knowing what you want. Like, you know what I mean? If anyone I know who says they don't want to have kids, I will never try to convince them otherwise, because if you don't want them, you don't want them. That's fine. There's enough children out there. I think the point I'm trying to make is I felt like I didn't know you don't know what love is until you have a child.
Yeah. Okay.
Like I love my wife. You love your family, obviously. You love your friends. Like I love my wife to death. But there's something different about being a parent and having a kid, and that is completely different. Like, yeah, man, it's nuts. It really is.
That's so cool, man. I'm like so proud of you, and like, I consider you a very close friend, and like, it's just like so cool that like you have two fucking beautiful kids, and you're such a good dad, and it's great. It's amazing. Like, dude, it's like so cool. And
thanks, John, man. I appreciate that, buddy.
Sorry that we're getting really serious here, but it's like
no, for sure, dude. It's I get it, dude. I appreciate it,
dude. But like, it's like that Louis. Okay, not to bring up Louis, but like that Louis C.K. bit where
you can bring him up, man. He did some stupid shit, but he still has some great jokes and philosophy.
Dude, that one joke where he's like, where he gets married, and he's like, "Oh, I can't leave. Like, I wasn't planning on leaving, but I can't leave now." And then he has a kid, and he sees his kid, and he's like, "Oh, I could have left. Like, I can't. Like, I could have left, and like now I'm stuck here. Like, it's just like that. You see this person that you made, and you're like, you're everything to me. Like, you're the most important. It's just like it's amazing, dude. Like, you're a good dad. You live in a shitty neighborhood.
What'd you say?
I say you live in a shitty neighborhood and your house sucks, but you're a good person.
You had to insult me in one way or another, right?
Because I don't like being so nice. I don't like being nice to you. I don't like it.
My neighborhood doesn't suck. It just there's not much happening, I guess. It's a family neighborhood, you know?
No, it's a good dude. It's
I can't live in the trendy parts of town anyway. I can't afford them. Not that I want to. I was thinking to myself the other day, because I look at like real estate websites for fun sometimes, and I thought if the money was unlimited, what part of town I live in, I still think I'd live closer to this way, because there's just more like activities for kids as far as like parks and schools and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Anyway, I mean, I do like Lincoln Park a lot too.
Yeah.
And I don't like it as much as I used to. I think I had that thing where when I was growing up, I wanted to live by all the bars and stuff, and like live by like Wrigley Field even.
Yeah.
Let me check something out here. Yeah. All right. Here's an example. You're a movie guy. Jonah has over what, 5,000 DVDs or something?
I have like 2,500 right now. Yeah.
$2,500. It's nuts. Like if you go to his apartment, and you have a kick-ass apartment, by the way. Your back deck. This guy, nobody grills like Jonah. Nobody when he has people over. That's why I can't wait to get back out into doing regular stuff again. I've joked throughout this that I've kind of enjoyed quarantine. I've enjoyed some aspects of it, but the getting together with people I miss hardcore, especially during 85-degree days. And you, dude, you throw the big screen up when we're watching SummerSlam outside, dude. I love that.
Yeah.
TV outside, so cool to me.
So
but anyway,
cool.
since you're a big movie guy, I figured this is a good call. The movie Manchester by the Sea. Have you seen it?
Dude, no. I want to see it so bad. I heard it's fantastic.
All right.
Are you mad?
Well, no. I can't make the reference I was going to say now. Let me just say this, because the people listening who have seen that movie came out a year before I became a dad. It came out in 2016. And there's a part in the movie that will affect any person, whether they have kids or not. It hits so much harder when you have kids, though. That's all I'll say, because that doesn't give away the plot for you, and it's also a little wink, wink, nudge, nudge to people who have seen the movie who are going to be like, "Oh yeah, fuck, I can see that really fucking you up." Because dude, things hit differently, man. Like
I bet I do. Do you have
I find myself crying at movies that I never would have cried at before, and things like that.
Do you have any other examples of that? Like,
well, I'll have examples of stuff where like my son. I mean, granted they're young, so it's different. But when my son was 1.5, or maybe he was almost 2, there was like a good month where he was loving the Lion King, the animated one. And, we were watching Lion King all the time, but every time we watch it, I skip the scene where Mufasa dies.
Oh, yeah.
Because
okay.
I'm his Mufasa, and I don't want him seeing him die, and then I don't want him then trying to kill his uncle. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Crazy, man. What a fucking
stuff like that. Like you start to think differently about. I don't know, man. Dude, there's a short on Disney Plus, everyone, called Float. That one, just instant tears, man. Pixar, dude. Fucking Pixar knows how to make your soul hurt. That's what Pixar will do to a man. The toughest dudes I know will cry at a Pixar movie.
I feel like such an asshole because I don't watch animated films. I've never seen any of the Pixar. I've never seen. I swear to God, I've never seen Toy Story. I've never seen Toy Story 2. I've never seen the balloon with the old man.
I haven't seen Up yet either. That's Up.
Really? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. No, that one, because I've heard everyone. That one got. Everyone was. You're gonna cry. You're gonna cry. So it got to I'm like, and that was when it was out. And now that I could watch it whenever I want, I'm like, I still don't know if I want to go through this emotional shit.
Yeah.
Dude, you should watch them because you would like them.
Really? Okay. Yeah.
Dude, you watch Toys. Do you have Disney Plus?
I do.
Okay, watch Toy Story 1 tonight.
Okay.
Dude, how good is Disney? I love Disney Plus. Everyone thought like, oh, just because you're dad. No, because I was able to catch up on the Marvel movies, and I fucking love those, man.
Yeah.
Were you a Marvel movie fan?
You know, I hated. I am and I'm not. Like I'm kind of against them, but like I think Captain America: Winter Soldier is one of the best movies I've ever seen, and it's so good, dude. And then the last 2 Avengers are so good, like
so good.
Dude,
Endgame, I love Endgame, man.
Oh fucking! The first 2 I hated, but the last 2 are so good. And like Thor Ragnarok, like is so good.
Amazing, man. Oh man, I'm watching that one with the wife next. I'm so excited for her to see it. It's so good, dude. Got Led Zeppelin playing too.
So good. And Taika Waititi as a director is so talented and he's so funny. It's just they're great. They're really fucking good. Yeah.
Ryan Grant in the chat says Up is incredible. All right, I'll watch Up. It's enough emotional movies, man. Onward. I watched Onward, came out like 2 months ago. It was supposed to come to theaters, but they threw it right. Did you watch Onward?
No.
That's a Pixar movie. You didn't watch any of them. But dude, that one will make you cry too.
Joe, have you seen any of like the advanced VOD movies? Like, is there any things that's since quarantine? Is there any movies?
No, you know why? Because look, I was gonna watch Trolls 2 with my kid because he likes the original Trolls. The original Trolls is really good. Justin Timberlake and Justin Timberlake does the voice of one. It's a lot of songs, so kids love music. And there's some funny parts to it. Justin Timberlake's character is really funny. And, what's the other one? Oh, man, what's she? She's so hot too. What's her name? Anna Kendrick. Like hot
Oh,
voice.
she's so pretty. Yeah.
Yeah, she's like pretty. She's like, good looking, but like I don't know if I double take if I walk by her in public. But her voice to me is unbelievable. Yeah. Anyhow, that movie. So they had like Trolls World Tour, which is like the sequel. That was like set records, I guess, for like video, like box office or video on demand.
That's great.
Yeah, and I know like King of Staten Island, or not? Is it called King of Staten Island? Yeah, I was gonna check that one out because our friend Lisa Traeger's in it. But dude, it's like $20 to rent for 2 days. Why don't I just wait a couple more months and buy it for $10 and have it for the rest of my life? It's a stupid business model.
Dude, Lisa's great in that, and like, we're all friends. Lisa, she's fantastic. And I didn't know she was in that, so I was like, holy shit, Lisa. But Bill Burr is incredible. Like, Bill Burr is becoming a very good actor.
Bill Burr is slowly getting into like, and I'm glad he got this big role, and I'm hoping it spins into some other bigger parts because I think he could carry his own movie, and he has yet to be a guy where it's like Bill Burr and The Rock star in, Boston guys doing Boston shit or whatever it is. I don't know what The Rock would be. The Rock sells things.
Oh, dude, The Rock sells so much. He could totally sell his own movie. But like, dude, like one of my favorite movies of lockdown is The Way Back with Ben Affleck. It's such a good movie. It's so good. I've probably watched it 5 times. It's very good. That's do you know what movie I'm talking about?
I haven't checked it out yet.
Where he's like he's an alcoholic basketball coach, basically.
Ooh, I'm already on board. I like that idea.
Dude, Gavin, what's his last name? O'Connor directed it. Who directed Warrior? Have you seen Warrior, Joe?
Was Warrior the UFC one?
Yeah.
Where like the two brothers are like fighting.
And Tom Hardy, so good. And then he also did the hockey. You probably like this. The hockey movie where Kurt Russell's the coach. What is that?
Oh, Miracle.
Yeah, he also did Miracle.
Miracle's good. I like Miracle.
Dude, Ben Affleck. I love Ben Affleck, and he's so good in this movie. And Al Magical is the assistant coach.
All right, cool. I gotta check that one out. I'm gonna put that on the list.
Dude, it's good.
All right, man. Maybe I should. I got a friend who's a movie critic that everyone should check out his blog. It's called amovieguy.com. Maybe I'll have a forum because I like getting into movies. I feel like we just gloss over them because we talk about all sorts of other shit. I think everyone, I'm gonna start to move the podcast to 2 a week. I might do 2 a week. One with like a new guest that no one knows or new to the podcast, and one with like where I catch up with you. Or like DeRosa, or Erica Nicole Clark, Toomey, Fernandez, where we could like just focus on a specific topic, and like really like kind of dig into it. I think those would be like one episode a week of doing that, and one episode a week of like having someone new and shooting the shit with them.
Dude, can I interrupt you for a second?
I stopped talking, so it wouldn't be an interruption. But go ahead.
Dude, okay. Obviously Toomey and whatever. Erica Nicole Clark is like so fucking funny. She's the funniest person. She's so funny.
She's not. Is she listening right now? Why are you up her clip?
Yeah, we're texting right now. So, no, I'm kidding.
Yeah. No, she's
I'm
great.
saying she's so funny, dude. Dude, she's so funny. It's frustrating.
It's frustrating how funny she is.
Have you ever met anybody like that's like so frustrating that they're so funny? Where you're like, what the fuck, dude? Like. I feel about Marty, about you, Danny.
Oh, you mean it's frustrating that they're not like more famous?
Yes. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, you missed part of that, or maybe because you're. By the way, everyone, Jonah has been broadcasting his side of the podcast from hotspot because his internet's
down. I'm sorry,
That's why it's been going on now. No, it's cool. It's been good mostly. Most of the time it's been pretty good. So it's good.
They're doing.
I'll get complaints later.
They're doing construction on my block, and my internet has been in and out. And I'm sorry.
It's all good. How about the movie The Accountant? Do you see that one?
Dude, same director as The Way Back. I fucking love that movie.
Yeah, Zion Mesa was that one out there.
Okay, Zion, dude, it's such a good movie. It's so and Anna Kendrick's in that too, and it's great. It's a great movie.
All right, I'm gonna check that one out. Yeah. I remember seeing previews for it, but I gotta start watching more new shit. I was talking about I was talking about a Netflix show. There's a Netflix show called Zoo. I guess it was originally on CBS, and I remember watching it when it was out in 2017. I think on CBS. I did one season at CBS, and then Netflix picked it up for a couple more. And Zoo basically is the animals, all the animals on the planet Earth, something happens in which they start killing humans, like all of them.
Oh wow.
And they it's like some coordinated thing where they are like, we're fucking sick of the human beings are fucking up the planet. They're why we have all these problems essentially. And now we're gonna stop the human beings. So then the one group dudes who are like, animal friendly people, they're trying to like come up with a cure because they think the animals got some virus thing. Where the other people are like, we're just gonna fucking kill all these animals. We're gonna do like a Noah's Ark thing. Whoa. We're gonna hold back a couple, and just destroy the rest. And so now it's a battle between who could like win their side. And I'm enjoying the hell out of it because each episode like something we're like, fuck, like that's gross as shit what just happened there, or like. You see like elephants running down a Manhattan street trying to like fuck people with their tusks. Like there's some cool stuff like that. But then I'm like, why did this show only do 3 seasons? How come when I look it up, no one talks about it? Does this show suck? Does it suck? And maybe I just have bad taste. I don't know. I got to figure it out. Everyone, I'm not through the show yet. I'm halfway into season 2, another season 3, and then it's over. And I guess they didn't make any new episodes after 2018. So, which means it probably ends with no resolve, which really pisses me off with shows. Dude, a show that gets canceled. Every show out there, make it so that in case they cancel you, there's a resolve.
So the end of every season is like a perfect wrap up, and then something else happens.
Well, I don't know. Give me or like a perfect wrap up that could lead to a next adventure. Do something like that. There was a show on Fox called Pitch about the first female baseball player that had Zach Morris in it. Really good show, and then. The last episode of the season 1, she like injures herself. And after they said to her like, hey, we think we should shut you down for the year because you're reaching your innings limit, and it's like a real baseball thing. And then she gets injured, she falls to the ground, and it ends. And the show got canceled, so they never like resumed play. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, was Mark Paul Gossier, Zach Morris going to get traded? I have no idea.
Wow. Yeah. Joe, did you ever watch Happy Endings?
Yeah, I like that show. That did a couple years too. And did that have a happy ending?
Yeah, it's 3. It's one of my favorite shows of all time.
It was Elisha Cuthbert.
Oh, Cuthbert, yeah.
Cuthbert, dude.
Yeah.
The movie, The Girl Next Door.
Next Door, yeah.
Dude, that's that's still a very underrated movie. The Girl Next Door.
Such a good movie. Timothy Olyphant is so good in that.
He's good in fucking everything.
He's good at everything.
Deadwood, Justified, other movies that I can't think of right now. But in A Girl Next Door, he plays this porn director. Yeah. And he's fantastic. There is a scene in which he goes in to drag the one kid out of his class. And he's like, yeah. And then he's like, walking out
in school.
Yeah, he just goes, stay in school.
Dude, yeah.
Well, first when he walks in, the teacher says something, just snaps his fingers and points.
Yeah.
And like, dude, he's just such a badass in it. You know what I mean? It's such really good.
Is the juice worth the squeeze? Like that's like a thing.
Is the juice worth the squeeze? Yeah, man. Fucking great movie. Watch The Girl Next Door, everyone. All right, we gotta end it here.
Okay.
Jonah and I are gonna do a little something for the Patreon, so be on the lookout for that. Big shout out to everyone who supports the Patreon. Only $3 a month gets you all sorts of access. I got a $6 tier for some little extra stuff for some people. And I'm only going to keep building it. So for all of you guys who support, I really appreciate that. Check out the albums on iTunes and Spotify and all that good stuff. Check out Jonah's podcast. It is called Pedals and Pricks, everybody. Pedals and Pricks. It's about The Bachelor. Even if you don't like The Bachelor, you'll enjoy it because Jonah's hilarious. And his co-host, Kristen Fenchek. Is that correct?
Yeah.
She is also very funny.
So funny.
Great. Yes.
Yeah.
So definitely check that out. Everyone, this has been the Joe Kilgallon podcast. Thank you for listening. Cheers.